Designing your home office can be a bit of a head scratcher, and having come from this to this to this and now this over the past 3 years, I've learned a few things that will help you design the best setup possible. So if you're looking to revamp your home office or completely start from scratch, buckle up and let's go for the ride.
The first step is coming up with a mood board, and for someone who's a novice when it comes to design, apps like Pinterest, Instagram or TikTok will be a good starting point. After a while, you'll start to notice a pattern in the kind of photos you pick, and this is usually a clear indicator in what you gravitate towards, which leads me to the next thing, the theme. Over here, you'll get the gamer aesthetic, minimalist look, mid-century vibe, Japandi, industrial, the list goes on and on. Once you settle on your mix, you'll be able to choose the colors, materials, and textures. When it comes to color, you'll have to choose two, the base color and accent color, but this can always change depending on your taste and design. And using myself as an example, I first started with the white and black minimalist look, with white being the base color and black the accent, then switched to a mix of mid-century and industrial, with white remaining the base color, walnut as the accent. Then over time, walnut became the base color with white and black accents. Materials and textures, we'll touch on them a little later in the video. Another reason why you should pick a theme early on, it helps create a flow, and that's where the famous saying, repetition creates rhythm, comes in. Using my setup as an example, you can see the bronze on my keyboard is referenced on the vintage telephone and microphone, the black and walnut is referenced on the slat walls, the shell chair and desk chair, just to name but a few. With a flow in place, next you'll want to achieve visual interest, and this can be achieved by having things at different heights, use of different shapes and textures, breaking the monotony, etc, etc. Again, using my setup as an example, I've got the plants and shelves at different heights to evoke eye movement, different shapes from rectangles, hexagons, and some I can't even explain like this one. Then the different textures in the coconut fiber basket, desk mat, and that on the leather of the seats, just to name but a few. When it comes to breaking the monotony, my setup is predominantly black and walnut, but I broke it up by adding hints of bronze, which is referenced on the keyboard, vintage telephone, and microphone. The light up color on the pegboard also does the same, and to ensure it flows well with the rest of my setup, I've referenced it on my record player, the lampshade, the pegboards across the room, and the nanolit elements were not on. With the theme out of the way, the next obvious thing is how you deck out the space, which basically means layout. This varies depending on the purpose of your setup, which I'll get to in just a bit, but a general rule of thumb that will make your setup a spectacle for the senses is ensuring there's good balance and symmetry in the arrangement of your office items. Case in point, there's a good balance between my desk area and the shelves above it, with the adjacent industrial shelving unit to the left and staggered shelves and pegboards to the right. On the back wall, the Besta unit on the wall perfectly aligns with the pegboards and credenza underneath. Then in the closet, the Fiabo shelving units and the pegboards perfectly fill up the closet space. Next up is functionality, and this is by far the most important. You'd want to make sure the items in your home office have a purpose, even though in reality that's not always the case. In my case, it could be this water fountain, but despite the fact that I don't turn it on as often as I should, it still acts as a good decor piece. Other than that, everything else is functional, and breaking a few of the items down, the monitor I use gives me the screen real estate that I need when editing videos, when researching scripts with multiple windows open, the list goes on and on. Now, that doesn't mean you must get a super ultrawide, it's just my preference. You can always get a monitor that fits your use case and preference. My monitor riser provides extra storage whilst also doing a bit of cable management. My Elgato Keylight on the other hand comes in clutch during those Zoom meetings by ensuring I'm well lit. Another thing to also take into account is ergonomics, since it's an important aspect of functionality, and in my case, my 6-stand desk, IMS chair, the Logitech MX Master 3S in tandem with the Capio 2.0 are some of the key drivers on that front. If you'd like a deep dive into those items, I'll leave a link of my desk setup video in the description box below. The next thing to have in mind is storage. This will help you avoid a lot of the visual clutter, and I have to admit this wasn't always the case for my home office, but after I started to put these ideas into play, everything completely changed. For storage, it's always good to have more, and like mentioned a little earlier, my Groven monitor riser acts as storage for my M1 Mac Mini, 14-inch MacBook Pro, and my Grover desk tray. The IKEA Alex drawers on either side of the desk provide plenty of storage for my accessories, and I've got drawer organizers in them to keep everything neat and tidy. Still on storage, I've got IKEA floating shelves right above the monitor, which hosts some of my vintage cameras. Then to the right, I have a pegboard with pegboard bins, and they host miscellaneous office stuff like tripod mounts and screws. Right below that, I've got IKEA floating shelves as well, which host my rugby trophies, and on the other side, my industrial shelving unit, which also hosts some of my office items. Another thing you could also do is improvise, and that's why I DIYed this broom and mop to act as my tripod storage. In a recent makeover, I added storage at the closet and the besta and credenza behind my desk, which are already coming in clutch. At this point, the main things of an average home office are pretty much ticked, but since we want to make it inviting and a spectacle for the senses, good decor takes the aesthetics to another level. Studies have tied visual appeal with productivity in the sense that a more visually appealing setup has a higher likelihood to motivate you to do whatever task you have at hand, and to ascertain that, when my setup was super cluttered, I rarely worked in my home office, but after the first tips I've given it, there's nowhere else I'd want to do my work. Now, you might be wondering where to start, but we already did a lot of the heavy lifting when we talked about the theme and all that it entails. All that is left is adding a personal touch with things like this vintage telephone, which adds so much drama and character to the space with the different patterns, and the bronze adds a good accent color for. The deconstructed iPhone 5 shows my passion for tech in the form of an art piece, while this levitating plant adds a fascinating element to the setup, and most of my friends never stop getting amazed when they come into my home office. The icing on the cake when it comes to aesthetics and decor is adding plants, and even though a good number of people are not into the plant movement, they add so much aesthetic appeal, and to show that, here's the setup without the plants, and here's the setup with the plants. If you dread looking up the plants, a good place to start would be the famous IKEA ones, then jump to succulents once you get a bit more confident. Moving along, next up is lighting. This would vary depending on your use case, but the bare minimum would be a source of natural light, then adding a screen bar for those late nights. To step it up a little bit, you can add LED strips in different areas to give your setup the much needed ambience, especially when darkness falls. Then a key light will come in clutch for you in those Zoom meetings. Accent lighting will bring to life the things you have on display on your shelves. Then desk lighting in a reading or chilling spot will make it easier for you to read at night whilst looking elegant and classy. For the creators out there, you want to be able to control light, as this comes in handy when the weather is acting up, and even more important, the creative freedom in post. I'd recommend getting a key light, and the good thing is there's so many budget options on Amazon to choose from, then you can get the likes of Aperture down the line if need be. In my case, I've got an Aperture 100D which is locked in place as my main key light, then a Godox SL60W as a portable key light in different sets. The rest of the lights are more for ambience, but in some scenarios act as a backlight depending on what I decide to use as a backdrop. As for the fill lights, I use these Ulanzi tube lights if need be, but for the most part, a key light and a backlight always work for me. Another thing you can add to your setup to make life easier is smart plugs, as this will enable you remotely control lights if they're not smart. Moving along, another aspect that needs to be taken into account is cleaning and organization, since regardless how insane your accessories are, if your home office isn't clean and organized, it's going to look horrible. A good way to maintain a clean setup is at least wipe the surfaces and vacuum the floors once a week. Some of the accessories that have come in handy in my case are this desk vacuum, my 7-in-1 cleaning kit, then for the floor, this old timer, and honestly speaking, it does an excellent job. If you want to go a step further, you can get an air purifier and humidifier, which work in tandem to get rid of unwanted odor. From those moments where the stinker sneaks out, then the purifier cleans up the air quality. With all this in place, your setup will be a well-oiled machine for whatever purpose you use it for.
Well, there you have it, folks. I hope these tips help you design the best setups, and feel free to tag me on Instagram or TikTok so that we continue to build this amazing community. Don't also forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. To see how I put these tips into play, check out this video. Till then, people of the internet, I'm signing out. See you on the next one.